Hi, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kenneth, and just wanted to share some thoughts that I've been very reluctant to do for a very long time. I've come to this realization, but I've been very reluctant. For me, it's like being in a relationship that you see red flags or you see that the relationship is over. But you just kind of hope against hope. You just hold on to whatever, maybe memories or maybe your expectations, your hope that it will get better, and then you hold on to it. That's how my relationship with Nigeria has been. I've been here for like 5 decades, and I got to realize some a long time ago that Nigeria is not going to get better. But I didn't want to say it. I didn't want to sound like I've given up. I know there are some optimists around me and optimists in Nigeria, but I know that the destiny of 200 and something million people was so important. So why do you just come out and say Nigeria is not going to get better? But after like 5 decades of watching this system, I can tell you Nigeria is not going to get better. But that's not where this conversation actually ends. What are you going to do about it? How does it affect you, and what are you going to do about it? Now, why was I reluctant to do this video? Because one, I didn't want to disappoint you. You are hoping Nigeria will get better, and I come in and tell you Nigeria is not going to get better. One, then two, there's this whole thing of, oh, I don't do politics, I don't want to talk about politics. But the interesting thing I've realized over time is, hey, the politicians who determine the fate and the destiny of 200 and something million people. Why won't I talk about them? Because somehow they influence my taxes, they influence my income, they influence my security, they influence even my freedom. So why shouldn't I be concerned about politics? Why shouldn't I talk about them? And I remember a phrase I heard from my cousin David. One time he said to me, after God, not government. The government is powerful in determining the fate and the destiny and the quality of life, everything about the nation. So why shouldn't I be concerned about them? But I'm telling you that Nigeria is not going to get better. And why? Because of that same government. You see, from the military rule of the 80s, or after colonization, the military rules of the 80s, back to democracy in 99, we seem to be going in the right direction. Then Yaradua, Jonathan. Since Jonathan, no matter how bad you think the military rule was, no matter how bad you think Obasanjo was, no matter how bad you think Jonathan was, since Jonathan, this country has been going downhill. See, it doesn't matter what the press is telling you. We all know that the press tells you what the system tells them to tell you. They are trying to program your mind. It's narrative control. So don't listen to what the press is telling you. Look around you and see what is happening around you. This country has been going downhill. In spite of the propaganda, we've been going downhill. And the truth is this. Somebody said that a system in which everything goes will soon become a system in which nothing goes. In Nigeria, kind of everything goes. And trust me, it's going to break. We can't continue to go downhill. It's like rushing towards doomsday, twice as fast. It's like going towards the precipice. Nobody's applying brakes. We are rushing down, and it's going to break someday. But how does that affect you? Now, if you think the politicians are coming to save you, I'm very sorry. I've seen politicians for decades. I've seen good politicians, I've seen bad ones. And so when I say politicians, somebody say, oh, not all. See, the fact that we have to say not all, we have to select a few, will tell you how bad politicians are. And then as the day goes in Nigeria, you see those few are thinning out. The ranks of the few are thinning out. The people who call themselves progressive are so retrogressive, and they dare call themselves progressives. Politicians are the worst of the lot of human beings in Nigeria. I'll say that again, and I will tell you why. Politicians are the worst of the lot of human beings in Nigeria. Somebody will say, what of kidnappers? What of armed robbers? What of whoever? See, some of those people are a product of politicians. They are a product of leadership. John Maxwell said, everything rises and falls on leadership. Banditry, kidnapping, armed robbery, whatever vices you talk about, has everything to do with leadership. And in Nigeria, Politicians are the hem of our affairs. So when I tell you that politicians are worse than kidnappers, that's what I mean. They are the worst of the lot in this country. And so if you expect those politicians to come and save you, I'm sorry. So if I tell you Nigeria is not going to get better, it is because of those same politicians. I know their ranks are swelling. And as the day goes, like I said, the few that were on the other side are joining them. And they benefit from the dysfunctional system. They are beneficiaries of the dysfunctional system. Their lavish lifestyle, the money they have access to, the power they control their children, everything, they benefit from it. And since they benefit from it, how do you expect somebody who is eating from the table to topple the table? Come on, who does that? They are not insane, even though they are insane. Yes, they won't topple the table as long as they benefit from it. So whatever policy, whatever position, whatever direction they take, is still to benefit them. No matter what they call it, no matter how they try to couch it, it's still to benefit them to the detriment of the people. I hate the people refer to as masses, because at the end of the day, they bear the brunt of the whole system, no matter how the system is captured. I'll briefly talk about something called elite mass model. It's something I learned from one of my students. I'm a teacher, but like I said to my students, the teacher is also a student. So before one of my classes, I had a conversation with one of my students, Amina Ademo, and she used the phrase elite mass model. I asked her, what does that mean? And she explained it to me succinctly. This is what elite mass model is. The elite comes up with a policy, but the whole policy is couched in a language that it will benefit the masses. Elite mass. The elite come up with a policy. Sometimes they do as if we have a town hall, we are getting feedback from the masses, we are asking the masses what they want. So at the end of the day, the policy is portrayed as beneficial to the masses. That is a lie. That's how politicians rule us. So they come up with a model that they said, this model will benefit the masses. Call it a tax break, call it pension, call it, like in Nigeria, treasury single account, call it all kinds of things, even borrowing, even saving money in the SS code account, whatever it is, budgeting, your salary, pension. Who benefits from pension? People pay pension, right? And they wait for 20, 30 years to access the pension. But trust me, when the money is gathered, who uses the money? Who uses the pension funds? The bulk fund that comes from pension. Who uses it? So that is one of the elite mass model. And if you open your eyes and look, the systems are plenty. All of these systems are plenty all around us. The system is rigged against the people. By who? By the politicians. So if you think the politicians are coming to save Nigeria, I'm sorry. And like I said at the beginning of this video, Nigeria is not going to get better. But now let me go to the second part of this video. How does that affect you and what are you supposed to do? I'll give you an analogy from when you fly and they're telling you about the safety rules in case of an emergency in the aircraft. One thing they always tell you is put on your nose mask first before you try to save another person. Now knowing that Nigeria is not going to get better, you put on your nose mask first. That might sound selfish. Absolutely not selfish. Self-care is not selfish. Until you put on your nose mask, you won't be able to save the next person. So what am I driving at? You must take care of yourself first. Mentally, financially, physically, emotionally. Save yourself from this collapsing ship. Now, when I say save yourself, for some people, you might be able to survive here, but for other people, you might actually have to jump this ship. Trust me, the politicians who are running this nation are grand. They have option B, option C, option D. Their children are all over the place with multiple passports, ready to jet out at the slightest provocation. What about you? What about you? What are the options you have? One thing I love about money, one of the things I believe money is for, is to buy you freedom. It's to buy you options. So what I'm saying is this: Nigeria is not going to get better, but you should get better. Yes, you should get better. Save yourself first. Don't go down with the ship. Interestingly, you are not the captain. The politicians who are the captain are not planning to go down with the ship. So don't go down with the ship. I understand some of you are loyal to the country. I am. This is not disloyalty. No, this is saying if you don't save yourself first, you can't help anybody. You want to die for the country? Go ahead. What would your blood amount to? The blood that is shed all over this country, what has it amounted to? Every time somebody goes down or a group goes down, you hear things like, oh, let this not be in vain. It looks like it's been in vain. From the north to the south, from the east to the west, we've had people go down again. All of the blood, doesn't it look like it's in vain? The blood 2020 Lekki Togi, doesn't it look like it's in vain? All over the country. So don't go down with the ship. Save yourself. Now, this is more like a doomsday prophecy, but is there any hope of Nigeria getting better? Maybe not. So that's why I say save yourself first. But if Nigeria is ever going to get better, I can tell you for free, it won't come from the politicians. It has to come from a revolution. It has to come from a revolution, and it will likely be violent because these people don't want to let go. And when I say these people, I'm talking about both the internal and external hegemony that's holding Nigeria hostage. There are people who profit both internally and externally. There are people who profit from a dysfunctional country who don't want these giants to ever rise up. So do you think they are going to let go easily? I don't think so. I don't think they are going to let go easily. And the rot is so deep that I keep saying to people, take out the top 1,000 people in leadership in Nigeria. So you have the president and his vice, the entire House of Assembly, the two chambers, all of the ministers, the DGs, all of the governors, the commissioners. Take all of them out and put in a new crop of people to lead us. See, the rot is so deep that our experience might actually be worse than what we have right now. It's so deep that the only thing that can root at that level of decay is a violent revolution that will shake this country to its foundation. Of course, when I say revolution, it will likely be violent. If it is not, it can't shake this country. Oh, let me say this as I close this conversation. Don't think that the ballot box will change Nigeria. Oh, that's somebody who voted in all of the previous elections. Even the local government election that took place in the FCT just a couple of weeks, about 6 weeks ago, I voted in a local government election. But don't assume that the ballot box is going to change Nigeria. It's one of those elite mass models. They tell you democracy, right? So they make it look like you have a choice in who governs you. But hey, imagine I give you option A or B. I say choose one. Whether you choose A, we are in charge. Whether you choose B, we are in charge. And in our present experience, whatever you vote, somebody else will announce the result, or the judiciary will endorse somebody else. Go and check out what happened in Imo State. Check out what happened in the 2023 elections, and you understand that, hey, whether you vote or not, the elite mass model will kick in and determine who comes in. So if you think election is going to change it, by all means, be like me, vote, but it's not going to change it. It must be a revolution that shakes Nigeria to its very foundation. These people have weaponized poverty, and what I'm saying in all clarity, I've realized it. Like somebody who has suffered a heartbreak who wants to deny that the relationship is not over. No, I think he will come back. No. I've realized that there's no coming back from this. Nigeria will not get better, but you should get better. That's actually the message. I just said all I said to emphasize that Nigeria will not get better, but nobody says you should go down with the ship. You should get better, and if you get better and you are able to create a cocoon for yourself here, hope Nigeria doesn't happen to you, fantastic. But if you need to jump ship, see, we are all pilgrims at the end. We are all immigrants. Where I live is where I was born. My ancestral home is about 6 hours from Abuja, where I live presently. The UK is also about 6 hours from here. I can't even make Epoma by road 6 hours. It used to be about 4.5, but the roads are so terrible now. So UK is about 6 hours from here. So if I moved from my ancestral home here, I'm already an immigrant. Here, within the same country, outside the country. But what I'm saying is this. See, make space for yourself. Create a life for yourself. Don't expect the government, politicians, pension, or any other policy, call it TSA, call it foreign reserve, call it budget, call it subsidy. Don't expect the government to look after you. No. Their only interest is looking after themselves. And since the country is not going to get better, you should get better. My name is Kenneth Ubebwana, and I intend to share these thoughts again and again, and as I said, share some thought that helps us to navigate the kind of country we found ourselves. This was what we were born into, but this was not what we had hoped it would be at this stage of our national development. But somehow, we are like those people, like the group in the 80s called arrested development. We are a nation that has its development arrested. But even if the national development is arrested, your personal development shouldn't be arrested. My name is Kenneth Ubebo, and feel like come your way again. I say, please grow yourself in spite of what is happening around the country. Thank you very much for listening.